Nobody was willing. But so time passed, and I was going to join the army, and I was on delayed entry, and I'm like, I am not going to go in the army, a goddamn virgin. And I was on a mission. I stole my older sister's ID, and I went into this nightclub. And I'm like, one of these dudes is going to be the one. And then I saw him. Ding, 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 ding. Vanilla ice looking motherfucker. His hair was like if I wanted to put a level on it just to watch the bubble rise. And I'm like, stop. So I knew he was the one. So he came over to me too. Braces, whatever. Like I think now, looking back on it, he may have been a pedophile because I looked really young. He was almost 30, and yeah. And so he comes up to me and he's like, "Who are you?" And I had just read that line in Cosmo as the best line. It was in the Bedside Astrologer. And I'm like, "Oh, he's sensitive. He reads Cosmo. He's getting it." So a couple days later, I'm at his house, on his mattress, there's no sheets, there's no frame or box. It's a mattress on the floor, and we're watching DuckTales. We're vibing. Next thing you know, Darkwing Duck comes on, and it's time. We're gonna get dangerous. Sorry, the older people might know this. Darkwing, let's get dangerous. Anyways, so I lose my virginity. I bleed like a stuffed pig, which is surprising because I rode horses and shit. But now again, no sexual education. Like I knew the basics, but you don't know stuff like doggy style. Like my mom gave me a book, and it was very clinical. Like blah blah blah. So I knew the basics, but I didn't know sign terms for things. I didn't know about maybe trimming my bush. Like it was not an idea that had occurred to me. And so he gently says, "Yo, bitch." No, he didn't. He says, I'm not feeling like going through the Amazon right now. I want this to be a little bit more lackadaisical. Can you trim that up? So I shaved the whole fucking thing. Just shaved it. And then, all of a sudden, I'm getting red bumps. Now, I just lost my virginity. I'm ignorant as fuck. And I have a rash. I freaked the fuck out. I'm like, God, herpes syphilis, I'm gonna die. I go to the doctor, and she was from India, and she's all like, I don't know what's wrong with you girls. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me either. And she's all like, no, you don't, you shave it, and then you blah, blah, blah. And then, so that's one lesson I learned. The next lesson is, he had told me his favorite position was doggy style. Now this, I'm like, I've got this. I mean, I've seen dogs have sex, yeah? So I go there, I get on all fours, and he's approaching me from behind, like this is what I'm expecting, yeah? And he starts thrusting, I'm like, yes, I am on it. So I clenched down really hard, and then I twisted so we're in some weird butt-to-butt motion, and I held on while he yelped to escape, just clenching! And I'm killing doggy style, like you see him, yeah? Fucking own that shit. He's dead now. I mean, not because of that, but he did happen to die. And other things. But yeah, so this was, we actually ended up dating for 6 years, me and Ice Ice Baby. But time passed. I never joined the army. I checked it out. I started bartending because I became of actual legal age, and I realized, oh wait, fuck, men are easy. Unless they're in love with someone else, gay, or a religious fanatic, they'll at least want to fuck you. Like, it does not matter. Like, nothing else matters. Like, they're not a difficult nut to crack. So I got a little more confident, and eventually I got married. Was together with my ex for 17 years. And this was a little bit of hard-won wisdom that I'm going to share for you. I don't know if any of you are married or not yet, but don't marry a guy if he smokes crack. Like, not even a little bit of crack. It doesn't matter if he's handsome. Like, you can fuck him if you must, but don't have a joint banking account with him. If only someone had told me. But no, pretty much I think like every female comic, he cheated on me with his fat stripper, who was actually such a glorious archetype. You can look her up if you want on Facebook. You can see her naked. But she is, like, she has pictures with Ron Jeremy. Like, she's so perfectly sleazy that it's almost beautiful. Like, she's just a stereotype. And so he runs away, or does what, he goes to Maui with this chick. And I want to call her a bitch. I have nothing against people working in the sex industry. Like, get yours, girl. However, he had not come home, and his boss said he was in the hospital, and it wasn't, like, all of this crap that I'm not going to get into. So I was calling all unfamiliar numbers. And she said, don't call my number, that's harassment. And I'm like, well, fuck you. But, so now I hate her. So this is what I did. I found out everything about her. I found out her arrest record, her dad's arrest record, where he had a bar, PK Douglas, Alaska. Every single fucking thing, including her post office box. So now I know where she goes regularly. I found every sex offender in her area, and I was gonna send, because I'm insane. Like, let's just put this out there. I was gonna send them all her detailed rape fantasy with a picture of her naked, where they was here, because I'm a crazy person. But then, fortunately for her, I was waiting tables and I saw this man who was reading a book. That's a motherfucking book. It had pages and words, and I'm like, whoa, he's literate. I strut over there. How do you like your eggs? I prefer mine not fertilized. And he's all like, what? I've had a vasectomy. Like, let's do this. So I pretty much, so he was on year 2 of a divorce that ended up taking 4 years, and I was on like week 2 of a separation. So it was time, you know, I agreed long enough. And I had asked him, are you willing to be a distraction? And he was cool with that. And I don't know if you've ever had sex so good that you've looked up symptoms on WebMD. Like my nose and the tips of my fingers were like pins and needles, like went numb, like amazing. He could have been the most toxic motherfucker in the world. I was stigmatized, it wouldn't have mattered. Then he was wonderful. He ended up being just great in every fucking way. It's exhausting, because like, he brings me coffee in bed every morning with like cinnamon. It's like he treats me like a queen. I'm a tavern wench. Like I am not queen level. Like I have a one-trick pony. Once I figured that blowjobs didn't actually involve blowing, that's the only thing I do well. I can suck the chrome off a bumper. And so it's been 3 years now, and we're still in love. So, woo. Anyways, wish me luck with that. Thank you.
Yeah.